All right, Tom, Prototype 2.
Prototype 2, why would they release a game that isn't even done yet? I can't rate it. Next one is Diablo 3.
Diablo 3, it's the third time. It's the third game in the Diablo franchise. It's very popular. I think it's about exorcism. I give it 666 out of 10. The Secret World.
Secret World? I want to live there. 10 out of 10. Risen 2, Dark Waters.
I had trouble playing this game because the waters were so dark. I think I got bitten by a jellyfish. I give it Risen 2 out of 10. Dragon's Dogma.
Well, you start off with a dog. His name is Spot. And you gotta find his mom, who is not a dragon. It's a pretty dumb concept. 1 out of a dragon's 10. Risen 2, Dark Waters.
I had a lot of trouble playing this. game. The water's really dark, and I think I got stung by a jellyfish. I give it a Risen 2 out of 10. Minecraft, Xbox 360 edition.
So Minecraft's a pretty good game. You play it. You're in a coven, and you gotta make mines with your witchcraft. But this one's for the 360, so I don't think you do that. Anyway, you get a 4 out of 10. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, which is how
Albert Wesker walks out in his backyard and sees that there's a family of raccoons living in his dumpster. Now it's up to only Albert Wesker to take out this city of raccoons that's in his dumpster. I give it an Albert Wesker out of 10. Max Payne 3.
Max Payne 3, 3 out of 10. That's it. Prototype 2.
Why did they why don't they just call it Beta 2? I mean, it's not even done.
Release the game,
half
guys.
the NPCs are just blocks still. There's no voice acting. I give it a 2 out of 10.
How can you even rate? It's not done yet.
Anyway, that's it. Now, I was going to say it's time for Speed Reviews.
I don't know where this list is from.
I just found this on the internet.
What? I thought you found it somewhere.
Well, I found it was some Ask Yahoo thing.
A highly esteemed Ask Yahoo list of some games.
Tom,
You gotta remember what these games are.
Tom, here it comes. All
Okay.
right, we're going to start you off. Mass Effect 3, go.
Mass Effect 3, this is a game you have already played, 10 out of 10. Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim.
I tried using these scrolls, but they were just too old. They all kind of crinkled to dust. 5 out of 10. Batman Arkham City.
Batman always has lived in this city, and he's tired of it. He's like Gran Torino, except I didn't make the joke. 4 out of 10. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
I love Malamars. I think they are delicious. 7 out of 10. Deus Ex Human Revolution.
It's a speed review thing, dude.
Sorry, I can't read it. Deus Ex Human... Number 5.
Deus Ex Human...
Come on, speed review.
Revolution is, you're Russian, and you're revolting against humans who are known for their ex-deuces. It's some sort of machine gun thing. I don't know, man. They're making games too complicated. It's got a 10 out of 10. Dragon Age 2.
My dragon is 2 years old. I'm so happy. Look at the little scamp. Oh, this is the happiest day of my life. 10 out of 10. Portal 2.
Portal 2 is the sequel to Portal 1. So it gets 2 out of 10. Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. 8 out of 10. Saints Row the Third.
Saints Row the Third is the third version of Saints Row the Third, so it's the 9th one. And there's 3 more coming after that, so 12 out of 10. Gray Matter?
This is honestly, in all seriousness, folks, I've never heard of this game before.
I don't know what this is.
I don't want to give it a rating, so it gets a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, great rating. We did it!
We did it! We'll see you guys next week!
That's it! Email us. Stop not emailing us. Thanks, everybody. We like your stuff. Thank you. Speed reviews, guys. Ready?
All right.
Are you ready, guys? You guys,
Let's do it.
Okay, first game, we give it to you. Mike Tyson Punch-Out. For its regular Nintendo.
Okay, so in this game, you're fighting against all your favorite cartoon pals, like Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson. 3 rounds out of 10. Back to the Future, NES.
First of all, the game is so hard because you have to go to the future and then back to the regular past and then the future again. But you get it, you just don't get it. You get a 1 divided by 0 out of 10. F-Zero GX for the GameCube.
This is a lot worse than A-Zero GX, so I'm going to give it a failing 4 out of 10. Bionic Commando, NES.
I've never heard of this game, except for the PS3 one, which is the only one that's ever existed. So this gets a 0 out of 10. Devil May Cry 3 for the PS2.
He might cry, again, for the 3rd time, but you're not sure, so you have to beat this incredibly hard game to figure out whether or not he's going to cry. 666 out of 10. Contra for the original NES.
Also, really, that's one of the hardest games of all time. Devil May Cry 3, come on.
Yeah, really, what?
Contra for the NES, it's so manly. It makes you into a man, it makes you turn to a man, it makes you manly, and then you go to the Nicaragua, and then you fight men, and then manliness happens, and then you come Duke Nukem and it gets 10 out of 10.
I think what she says, control.
Why would you do that? Mega Man 9.
Mega Man 9 for Wii, PS3, and 360. You have to invade Wily's castle because you're the most mega of all the Mega Mans, and it's the 9th time you have to do it. 9 out of 10. Teenage Mutant Ninja Gaiden, and for the NES.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a game where you're a turtle and it's hard as a turtle. 10 out of 10. Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels for the NES.
This was a cop-out answer. Of course this is hard. It's super hard.
It's hard on purpose.
Super Mario Brothers out of 10. Ghosts and Goblins for the original NES.
Ghosts and Goblins you can't beat unless you're a ghost or a goblin. So naturally no one's ever beaten it because those two things don't exist. But I beat it because I'm a ghostly goblin. I'm on both those football teams. 10 out of 10 for the Battletoads.
Warlords for the Super NES. It's a great game. I actually don't support it at all, and because I'm a proud member of animal rights, and I believe that toad baiting is a sport that needs to be abolished, and I'm appalled that it is still a thing in this day and age. See what I'm saying?
We did it.
That's it. We did it again.
Stop. Gah. We'll see you later.
And with it, we're going to do our world famous speed review. Tom, Mega Man X.
Mega Man X is a game I actually really like a lot. The problem is I actually played most of this game, so I can't do a favorite review. I'm going to give it probably 7 out of 10. Final Fantasy 2, also known as 4.
Final Fantasy 4/2. This is the second time you've had your Final Fantasy, and you think it's a little weird. 2 or 4 out of 10. Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2 is a game that I overlooked on this list because I can't count. Also, it's Grandpa, your fighting game. Your grandpa played, your grandpa was a world-class player. He was leading the game. 2 out of 10. Super Mario RPG.
All right, like Tom said about Mega Man X, I really like this game a lot. I think it's really cool. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, legitimately. Super Metroid.
Super Metroid's a game that I never played, but everyone says it's great, but I'm not going to play it, so whatever, 1 out of 10. It's Zelda Link to the Past.
This game pretty much donked it, 7 out of 10. Secret of Mana.
Secret of Mana is legitimately my favorite game of all time. It's not even a joke, this isn't a joke segment. All games should be compared to it. It's best RPG of all time, it's best action game of all time. Nothing can beat it, 10 out of 10. Super Mario World. Super
Mario World is the original open world game, except not really, but it kind of is in its own way. It's a great game, 9 out of 10. Final Fantasy 3/6.
Final Fantasy 3/6 is probably the most well-regarded Final Fantasy amongst fans. Everyone likes it a lot. You play as the clown guy, and then some other stuff happens, and there's sand in your eye or whatever, and then you ride a chocobo. It's 10 out of 10. Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger, that's it's one of those games that everyone likes. I don't really remember Chrono Trigger all that much, but I remember it being pretty good. 8.5 out of 10.
We did it! And you know what that means, friends.
Guys, that means it's time for our world famous speed
reviews. Speed reviews.
Tom,
speed reviews.
Let's start off right now. Phantasy Star 4 for the Sega Genesis.
Phantasy Star is a pretty long series. No one likes a lot. You have Fantasy on a Star, and it's 4, so 4 out of 10. Suikoden, PS1.
This is a game about the popular Ninja Star. You throw shuriken at people, and it kills them to death. Ninja Star out of 10. Star Ocean, the second story, PS1.
Well, I never got to beat this game because I couldn't travel the whole ocean of stars, so it's a 1 out of 10. Everyone knows it. Skies of Arcadia, Dreamcast.
This game rules. It's awesome. I named my first car after one of the ships in it. 10 out of 10. Secret of Mana, Super Nintendo.
Secret of Mana is legitimately my favorite game of all time. Everyone knows this. 10 out of 10, out of 10, out of 10, out of 10. Chrono Cross, PS1.
You've really made Chrono Cross this time, and he is not very happy, and you and Voodoo Man have to put a stop to it. 7 out of 10. Final Fantasy VI for the Super Nintendo.
Final Fantasy VI is the first Final Fantasy. Don't get confused, guys. It's weird. It's a weird numbering system, but Japanese people do it weird. It gets a 10 out of 10. Star Wars KOTOR.
KOTOR, it's kind of like a Rotor, and not dissimilar from a Rotor. It's a rotor in space that is attached to a motor. It's for Xbox, and it gets a 360 out of 10. Final Fantasy VII for PlayStation 1.
But I only played the one for PS2, so 1 out of 10. Chrono Trigger for Super Nintendo.
You've really triggered Chrono's ability to be triggered, and he's really mad this time. And you and Voodoo Man have to put a stop to it again. 7 out of 10.
We did it.
And that's it.
I knew what that means. It's time for 3, 2, 1.
Speed reviews. Go.
Go.
Double Dragon, Tom, go.
Double Dragon for the NES is a game where you're 2 dragons at once. So you get a 2 out of 10. Bionic Commando.
Okay, we can rebuild him, make him stronger, better, faster than he was before. $6 million man out of 10. Castlevania 2.
Castlevania 2 is...
Really? Castlevania 2? Sorry, go ahead.
It's Castlevania 2. 1 out of 10. Metroid.
Metroid, you play as the popular Metro, and you have to get to all the stops on time. 7 out of 10. Contra.
In Nicaragua, you're chilling out. Just riding with some homies, bruh. 10 out of 10. Mike Tyson, Punch Out.
If it's a popular boxing game, You box all your favorite cartoon pals, including Mike Tyson. 3 rounds out of 10.
Take a bite out of crime.
Nice. Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobble is, I think, a typo, so we're not going to include that one. Mega Man 2.
Mega Man 2, this is a really good game. You got your Buster Cannons, you got your additional Buster Cannons. You're going to run around, you're going to jump, you're going to shoot, and it's going to be great. 2 out of 10. Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda was a game where you're an adventurer named Legend, and he runs around, and he's the last guy on Earth, but he also has a dog, and also there's other people. And then you find some book, and it's like the Bible, but no one tells you. And then, like, your name's Eli 2, but also you're Will Smith. 10 out of 10. Super Mario Bros. 3.
That's a little long. Super Mario Bros. 3 is just a great game. Period. 10 out of 10.
We did it. That's
Guys,
the podcast for today.
Do the things. All right.
I mean, this
see
week. Bye.
Speed reviews. Tom, Minecraft, go.
Minecraft is a game where you're a miner and you gotta craft your way out of some crazy adventures. 10 out of 10. Witcher 2.
Wait, which 2? 2 out of 10.
Ugh.
Risen 2, Dark Waters.
I really like this game. Water's really dark, and I think I got stung by a jellyfish. 2 out of 10. Starhawk.
I don't think hawks can live in stars. I was really depressed because it's just a bunch of hawks floating around dead. So I give it a 0 out of 10. Warriors Orochi 3.
You're the legendary Warriors Orochi, a group of ragtag friends who've got to get to the neighbor's house to get that baseball. So it's 3 out of 10. Kingdoms Hearts 3Ds.
Well, you have 3 Ds worth of kingdoms, and you have to get the heart to the princess for a heart transplant, or else she will die. 7 out of 10. Fire Emblem Kakusei.
This is probably another Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem's a great series. I don't know this one, so I'm going to pretend that it's the one that I played, so 10 out of 10. It's Jaya 3.
This is the third.
Gaia, whatever.
This is the first time that you ever dissed Gaia, and she is mad. And now you and her are going to have the breakdancing competition of a lifetime. 3 out of 10. Tom, Sniper Elite V2.
Sniper Elite V2 is this game. It's they always advertise it on Steam, and I don't want to play it, despite liking everything in it. So 1 out of 10. Sorry, guys.
Speed reviews. Tom, Mace the Dark Age, go.
Mace the Dark Age was a game that was made in the Dark Age, and it was so, therefore, the second video game after the Sphinx's favorite game of all time, Sphinx to Do. So it's only 2 out of 10. Gitaruma.
Gitaruma a great game, guys. It's just great. Just go buy it. 9 out of 10. Sunset Riders.
Sunset Riders was the name of my gang back in World War II. So 10 out of 10. Jet Force Gemini.
All right. This is the name of my old jet fighter squadron because we always flew in pairs and we always shot people also in pairs. So it gets a 2 out of 2 out of 2 out of 2 out of 10. Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy.
That is a nickname for my genitals, so 1 out of 10. Comics Zone.
That is oddly enough a nickname for my genitals, so that gets a 3 out of 10. The Legend of the Dragoon.
That, genitals, 1 out of 10. Psychonauts.
I've heard really good things about Psychonauts. I've never actually played it, but I've heard it's really good. I think it's I think that's Double Fine. Anyway,
It is.
I'm gonna give it an unrated out of 10 because I never played it.
Nice.
Xenogears.
Xenogears is the game that came before Xenosaga, and that's not a joke, so I'm giving it a 0 out of 10. Eternal Darkness.
I could make a joke here about the name, but this game's really, really good. Tom will back me up on this
Yeah,
one.
we might do a Let's Play eventually.
Anyway, 9 out of 10 probably.
Guys, 9 out of 10. Sounds like we're done. Woo!
That means it's time for the Sons of Video world famous
What?
Speed Reviews. Tom. Oh, God. Toho Shinrei B. Oh, we didn't say what the
It's
list
a top
was.
10. It's top 10 PC games of 2011.
All right.
Toho Shinrei Bu 10 Desires for the PC. For off of PC.
Oh, jeez Louise. That's such a long name. But there are 10 desires, so I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings.
There's too many S's in this title, so I have to give it 4 out of 10. Bastion.
This is where you play as a lobster, and you have to convince your mermaid friend Ariel that the surface world isn't everything it's meant to be. 7 out of 10. Batman Arkham Asylum City.
This is Batman's first adventure in the city. He's got to make it big, or he's got to go home to his parents in Idaho. 10 out of 10. Saints Row the Third.
This is the third game in the Saints Row the Third series, which means it's actually the 9th game, and it gets a 3 out of 3 out of 3 out of 3 out of 10. Terraria.
Terraria is a game that's like Minecraft but sideways, and for some reason people want to play this, and I haven't figured it out yet. 1 out of 10. Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Great game. I'm like an 8 out of 10. Tom, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim.
Skyrim is the newest place in the Elder Scrolls universe. There's people, there's clouds, they're cloud-based people, and it's 10 out of 10. Minecraft.
This is the German version of a popular game called Minecraft, where you craft things, and it's all in German, so it's a little difficult to play if you don't know the language, but I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. And last but not least, Portal 2.
Portal 2 got 1 on this list? Are you kidding me? This is a bad list. I give the list 1 out of 10. And that's it.
Anyways, guys.
We did it. Have fun.
See you next
Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Speed reviews.
This speed list is a top 10 list of handheld games in 2011. Dissidia 12, Duodecim Final Fantasy for the PSP.
All right, this game, you learn all about the Dewey Decimal System and all about how to correctly categorize your local library. It gets a 12 out of 10. Dead or Alive Dimensions.
This game teaches you the dimensions of things like volume, things like a cup of water, those dimensions. It's the spoiler, length time width and height. 10 out of 10. Star Fox 64, 3D, yes.
It's Star Fox 64. If you like Star Fox 64 and you have a 3DS, you're going to enjoy this one. It's an 8 out of 10. Professor Layton and the Last Spectre.
This is a rare cameo crossover between Professor Layton and Mass Effect. And what you do is you're the Professor Layton, you're solving space mysteries, 10 out of 10. Kirby Mass Attack.
This is actually a lot in the same vein of Dead or Alive Dimensions. You're learning all about mass. You're learning all about how to figure out density, volumes, all that stuff, and it gets an 8 out of 10. Mario Kart 7.
Mario Kart 7 isn't so much a game as it's an operating system. What you do is you can kind of like browse the web through go-karts and stuff, and it's really neat, but it doesn't have all the game support you need. Anyway, 10 out of 10. Tactics Ogre, Let Us Clean Together, PSP.
Well, this is all about how to do laundry, especially drying correctly, because if you use too much dryer sheets, all your clothes are gonna get all staticky and stuff, and it's not good. 8 out of 10. Pokemon Black and White versions.
Well, this is the collaboration between Pokemon and Michael Jackson back in 1990, so it's kind of not really appropriate for this list. So it gets a 0 out of 10. Anyway, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
It's a classic game, re-released for all your favorite 3DSs, 7 out of 10. And Mario Super 3D Land.
Super Mario 3D Land is not Super Mario World, so you don't even have to mention it in anyone's company. Because you know what? It's not Super Mario World. It gets a 10 out of 10 out of 10. Best game of all time.
That's it.
We did it. Thank you for listening. We love you with all of our might and heart.
Speed reviews.
Today's list is the first 10 games we think of.
Okay, Tom, number 10, Final Fantasy X.
Final Fantasy X is a game about 2 Italian plumbers who have to save the princess from the Queen of Cubas. 10 out of 10. Metal Gear Solid 4.
Metal Gear Solid 4, it's the 4th time that you've ever had to put gears in the metal factory. Otherwise, the metal won't get made. 4 out of 10. Tom, Pokemon Red.
Pokemon Red is a sequel to Pokemon Blue, and, you know, it's pretty great. But it's not that great, so 1 out of 10. Fallout 3.
Fallout 3, this is the third time that your baby's fallen out of bed and you are legitimately concerned because if you might hurt himself. And if you don't figure out how to fix that crib, you might cause permanent damage. Tom, number 6, Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
I don't want anyone to fight, man. I'm a pacifist and I'm a peacifist. My father was Gandhi and my mother was Gandhi, and I believe in Gandhi as a true hero. So this gets a 0 out of 10. Risen 2 Dark Waters.
I don't really like this game. The water's really dark, and I think I got stung by a jellyfish. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10. Tom, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 at number 4.
Number 4?
Yeah, number 2, sorry.
This is the best game that's ever been released by a blind publisher. You never could see, and it's a really great thing that they can make it with this kind of disability, so 10 out of 10. Call of Duty World at War.
Call of Duty World at War is a great game that you all should be playing. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Is that it?
Anyways, that's it. We did it.
Speed reviews.
Oh, I thought you were going to do it a different way. All right, this is the top 10 greatest 3D co-op story mode beat-em-ups. Wow, that's a long thing.
Yeah.
Number 10, Tom, Watchmen, The End is Nigh Parts 1 and 2 for Xbox 360.
The Watchmen was a comic book made by Alan Rickman, and Alan Thicke was the narrator, and then it became a movie where something happened. 10 out of 10. Zombie Revenge for Dreamcast.
In this game, you're playing as a zombie, and you gotta get all your revenge on all the zombie slayers because they killed all your zombie family. It gets a 7 out of 10. Tom, Gekido.
Aikido is a martial art where you use a hockey stick to hit people. So I give it a 10 out of 10. Batman, Rise of Sin Tzu for PS2.
In this one, Bruce Wayne has to rise up and read all about the art of war penned by famous Chinese man Sun Tzu. 6 out of 10. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks for PS2.
This game brought me to a state of zen, and really it helped me ascend my normal human boundaries and reach enlightenment. And for that, it cannot get a number rating because I'm at peace. The Warriors, PS2.
In this game, you are the Warriors, and then you come out to play. It gets a 7 out of 10. Dynamite Cop for Dreamcast.
Dynamite Cop beats fighting crime, 10 out of 10. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, PS2.
Who doesn't love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? 10 out of 10. Die Hard Arcade.
It's for the Saturn.
For Saturn.
Which is weird. You have to go to Saturn to play this game in the arcade, so I can't believe anyone's ever played it. You play as Jack McClane. He's the brother of John McClane, and he's the sister of Jimmy McClane. But you're gonna rescue those terrorists from all those hostages, get them out of there. 2 out of 10. Spike Out Battle Street.
Who's ever heard of this game? 0 out of 10.
I don't know what that is.
Come on.
I don't know what that is.
Hey, we did it!
Another
Thanks a lot
great
for listening.
podcast we like. Yeah. But I think that's it, right? We're
And
gonna end the show right
since we
here.
said-
No, we're gonna end the show right here, right? That's how we do it.
Tom, I think you're missing out on something very important.
What could I be missing?
I think you're missing a little bit of something we like to call speed reviews. Tom, this is the top 10 franchises who successfully transitioned from 2D to 3D.
I'm so excited.
Here it goes. Number 10, Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem was the first Duke of Nukem, as you know. Then he, for some reason, shot hookers or something. 10 out of 10. Prince of Persia.
In this game, well, the 3D version was the artist formerly known as Prince of Persia because they lost a lot of copyright laws and stuff. Gets a 7 out of 10. Super Mario.
Super Mario is particularly referring to 64. But Mario was once a pizza man. Then he remained a pizza man. No games ever happened, so you can't rate it. Final Fantasy.
This one is specifically looking at 10 or 7. Sorry.
7, yeah.
Well, this game line again is never the Final Fantasy. They just keep on making these games, so it gets a 0 for honesty. Tom, The Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda is a story about Robin Williams' daughter and how she became a real girl after being a puppet. After Robin Williams carved up all of his hair, hardened it into a puppet, and made a daughter. So 10 out of 10. Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem. It's a good game. You know, 7 out of 10. Tom, Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden is a game about Ryu Hayawasa and how he goes and meets all those dead or alive chicks. Yeah. Right? 5 out of 10. Grand Theft Auto.
I didn't know Grand Theft Auto was ever not a 3D.
Oh, dude, it was a 2D top-down thing. It was before 3.
I had no idea. 9 out of 10. Tom, Metroid.
Metroid is a game that I'm never going to play, and everyone should leave me alone about it. But I do own Metroid 2 for the Game Boy, so 2 out of 10. Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, it's a great game. 10 out of 10.
We did it!
Anyway, guys, thanks a lot.
We're going to see you later. Bye!
Anyway, return to the speed reviews. Tom, Cloning Clyde for the 360.
Come on, man. There's no hidden gems in the 360. It's on arcade, probably. Who cares? No. 0 out of 10. Cross Country USA.
This
For
one
the
you have,
APL 2?
it's for the Animal Planet 2. It's a high def channel, and you get to watch all of the meerkats.
Who wrote this list?
America. Anyway, that's it, guys.
You didn't give it a number rating.
Oh, it's great out of 10.
Great.
Great.
We did
Seriously,
it!
guys, Text Quest. Holy crap.
Check Quest.
Speed reviews. Tom, this is the top 10 best written video games ever. No qualifier
Except
there.
no substitutes.
No qualifier. Number 10, Mass Effect number Dose.
Yep, that's the 10th best written game of all time, so it's got to get a 10 out of 10, you know?
Yeah,
anyway, Braid.
Well, I mean, you know, definitely an indie platformer game. That's going to be very well written. So, you know, it's going to be through the roof. That's going to get a 9. Number 8, BioShock.
BioShock, actually well written, you know?
No, way too low.
Way too low, but gets an 8 out of 10. Portal.
Boy, Portal. I almost despise the writing of Portal because it has spawned a generation of jokes that are not funny. No, every time I hear them. Tom gets a 7 out of 10. Tom, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
Oblivion's pretty good. I don't know that it's actually well written.
I feel like you didn't play the story enough to know.
I feel like we're not giving enough fake reviews, So this is about really old scrolls that they went into some kind of abyss or something. I don't know. 6 out of 10. Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus. This is a game where you're trying to get a nice tan, but there's a Colossus in your way. So you stab him in the forehead several times, and then you can, and your lady friend can get a nice tan. Gets a 7 out of 10. Fahrenheit parenthesis Indigo Prophecy.
Fahrenheit 941 is about a book-burning guy about Michael Moore's movie that he made, and then they all went and, he had another movie probably after that, so 4 out of 10. Silent Hill 2. Well?
2 out of 10. Deus Ex.
Deus Ex is about a future mercenary who, I don't know. It's probably fun, though. We'll get to 2 out of 10. Half-Life.
Half-Life. This you play as Morgan Freeman in his quest to discover what it means to be a full-life man and enjoy your family. Gets a 9 out of 10.
We did it.
Guys, we did it once again.
We did it.
Guys, we
Have
nailed
a good
it.
week, everybody.
Did another award-winning podcast.
See ya.
Oh, guys, hold on.
Wait,
Stop.
what?
Guys, Otacons this week. If you see us there and you're going, I'm going as Dean Domino. Tom's going as Dead Money Courier. Come up and say hello to us to stroke our egos. Let us know that you're listening. We would love to say hi to you.
That'd
we would
be neat.
love it.
We'll sign your cast.
Yeah.
If you have one.
Bring a cast.
See you,
All right, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Speed reviews. Tom, this is the top 10 best Kirby games in the last 20 years.
I wonder if Kirby's existed for more than 20 years.
Yeah, probably at this point.
So it's Kirby themed. Let's go.
All right, Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards.
This is the first game which Kirby partakes in crystal meth, and it's a terrible tragedy, and he shouldn't be doing it, but man, was that a fun game. 10 out of 10. Kirby's Epic Urn.
In this one, Kirby tries to knit the Bayo tapestry again from memory, and you have to help guide him along. Gets a 9 out of 10. Kirby Air Ride.
This is where Kirby dives deep into the world of underground street racing on stars and stuff. But, those urban kids love it, so 10 out of 10. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
In this game, Kirby gets lost in a festival hall of mirrors, and he has to find his way out, and he looks all crazy because they got a bunch of fun mirrors. 7 out of 10. Kirby Canvas Curse.
Kirby likes to, you draw a line, and then you play it at nighttime on your DS, so 10 out of 10. Kirby's Pinball Land.
In this one, he's got crazy little flippers. Never seen him fall. But he's not deaf, dumb, or blind. But he sure plays mean pinball. 8 out of 10. Kirby's Dream Land 2.
Kirby's Dream Land 2 is the incredibly successful sequel to Kirby's Dream Land 1. So, yeah, 1 out of 10. Kirby's Adventure.
Kirby's Adventure, I imagine this is the first one. So, 9 out of 10. Kirby's Return to Dreamland.
Well, Kirby was I've never heard of this game. I don't think it really exists. 1 out of 10. Kirby Superstar Ultra.
This is a remake of the classic Kirby Superstar game, and that had a lot of fun games in it, and it was fun, and it gets a fun out of 10.
Fun out of 10.
Anyway, that's it, guys.
Guys, thank you for sticking with us.
Thank you for putting up with this one.
We'll see,
oh, boy.
We'll see you next week. Speed Reviews.
Tom, this is the top NES co-op experiences. Number 10, Battletoads.
Battletoads is a sequel to Battle Frogs. So, this game, you're 2 frogs. You're battling it out. It's good if you're 2 people. 10 out of 10. Gauntlet.
Tom, in this game, you have 1 gauntlet to share between 2 people, and you have to decide who gets which fingers inside of the gauntlet to stick inside. Gets a 5 out of 10. Number 8, Pipe Dream.
Pipe Dream is slang.
I don't think so. Why?
In the game, it's a slang. You know what I mean? It's an X-rated co-op experience for married couples. 10 out of 10. M-U-L-E.
In this game, you and your partner have to figure out what the letters M-U-L-E stand for. Is it mule? Is it mules underlit everywhere? It's up to you and your partner to figure out. 7 out of 10. Tom, number 6, Snake Rattle and Roll.
Snake Rattle and Roll is a part of the famous Snake series in which you have to gamble or something. I'm reading it. Apparently, everyone's a snake, and you rattle and roll. So 10 out of 10. Life Force.
In this game, you're giving life to all of the 4s because you're playing golf and you don't want to hit people and take away their life. So that's why you say 4. It's a 4 out of 10. Tom, River City Ransom.
River City Ransom is a paper cutting simulation in which you cut things out of the paper to make it the best ransom note. It's then judged by your friends in the room. Started out as a board game. 7 out of 10.
I would have gone with a lazy river joke there, but that was me. Moving on.
Contra.
Guys, Contra isn't a tough game for tough dudes. He gets a tough out of 10. Tom, number 2, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is a controversial game because when they first ask you for your name in the beginning of the game, if it's not Chip or Dale, you can't play it. So a lot of people didn't get to play it because who's named Chip? 1 out of 10. Bubble Bobble.
Tom, in this game, you Bubble and your friend Bobble have to figure out why all the bubbles are bobbling. Because it's a mystery. It gets a 2 out of 10. And that's it, guys.
We did it
again. Speed reviews. Tom, this is the top 10 RTSs of all time.
All time?
All time. A lot of T's there. Number 10, Supreme Commander.
Supreme Commander is a game where you have to make the supreme tacos at Taco Bell. Can you do it, or can you command people to do it? That much is unknown. So, question mark out of 10. Age of Empires 3.
Age of Empires, your empire is now 3 years old, and you have to get it through the terrible toddler stage in order for it to grow into a proper adult. 9 out of 10. Tom, Medieval 2 Total War.
Medieval 2 Total War is the second medieval age, which will occur in 2122, after the world has gone into darkness, and also the Iron Age again. So, 10 out of 10. Warcraft 3.
Warcraft 3, you got 3 whole Warcrafts, and they're sailing along the War River, and you gotta watch out because those rapids are really fast. 7 out of 10. Tom, Warhammer 40,000, Dawn of War 2.
Warhammer 40,000K is the sequel to Warhammer 39,000K, and this time the war is no longer in the early stages of the night, it's in dawn. So it's a little bit easier to see, so 10 out of 10. World in Conflict.
Great game, 9 out of 10. Tom, Sins of a Solar Empire.
Sins of a Solar Empire is a game that I bought recently and have not played. I heard it was good. Also, you're in some kind of solar empire. It's great. So 10 out of 10. Empire Total War.
In this game, you are in charge of the Imperial armies, and you have to help find the rebel bases on Hoth and Yavin 4 and eradicate them. 7 out of 10. Company of Heroes.
Company of Heroes is a game I've never heard about. I don't think we just did a...
Sounds bad.
No. We didn't do a 20-minute segment about it because it sounds... I've never heard of it. So how can we do that? So I guess it's a 100 out of 10. StarCraft 2.
Come on. 1 was better than 2.
Why was it 1 on 2?
Well, come on. I'll give this list a 0 out of 10.
0 out of 10.
All right, anyway, guys, thanks a lot.
We did it. Speed reviews.
Speed reviews. Tom, this is the top 10 games developed by Konami.
Konami.
Number 10, Rocket Knight Adventures for the Genesis.
I'm looking at the box. Apparently, you're some kind of mouse man. Let me just zoom in, enhance. You're a mouse man.
Zoom in and enhance.
You're a mouse man. He's apparently... I don't see any rockets. I do see knights, though. 10 out of 10. Beat Mania.
In this game, you are in a mental institution because you suffer from the horrible mental illness of beat mania, and you can only see beats, quarter notes, half notes, and it's just awful. It gets a 7 out of 10. Pro Evolution Soccer 2012.
This game was the only game where you play as mutants who evolved beyond the humans to become world-class soccer stars. In America, we call them football players. 10 out of 10. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Chosen Time.
Okay, in this one, you play as the Mutant Teenage Ninja Turtles as they barely manage to get in time where they need to go. You get the 7 out of 10. Number 6, Dance Dance Revolution.
You're in 1940s Russia, and there's a revolution of Dance Dance, and you're going to solve that Russian menace the only way you know how. Violence. 1 out of 10. Suikoden 2.
Sudoku 2 is a popular numbers game where you have to match up numbers on a grid. It's a 1 through 9, non-repeating on a 9x9 grid out of 10. Number 4, Contra.
Contra I'm looking at the cover. No. I can't comment about it. It's too mental. 1 out of 10. Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
In this game, you're listening to the Symphony of the Night, but you can't see the symphony because it's dark outside. 9 out of 10. Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2 is a game which, when we first did the speed review, you didn't say anything, and I didn't think it was that funny. I give the review 10 out of 10. I give the game 11 out of 10, and I give me, for this review, 12 out of 10. Metal Gear Solid.
This game is not Rumble Roses, which I feel like is a glaring omission from this list. Rumble Roses gets a 9 out of 10. And that's it, guys.
We did it.
Welcome. Oh, wait. No, sorry. See you guys next week.
Speed reviews.
Tom, this is the top 10 greatest video game soundtracks, which kind of isn't a speed review, but whatever. We're going to do it. Number 10, Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
We're not reviewing the city. We're reviewing the games that are listed in the list.
Oh, okay, fine. In that case, Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City is a game about you finally made advice to Cole Phelps. Your legendary LA Noir guy has moved on to a game that came out before he existed. 10 out of 10. Star Ocean, till the end of time.
In this game, you were forced to play this game for 8 hours every day for a year, excluding weekends. So it almost is pretty much till the end of time. It's an 8 out of 10. Tom, Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is a game you play if you're a little man, a teenage boy, or a teenage girl, or some kind of baby kid. You love Disney, you love Squaresoft. Square out of 10. Elder Scrolls series.
I hate
it series.
You work as an archivist in a small library in Lower East Side Manhattan, and there are a lot of scrolls that you got to take care of because they're very old. They're the eldest of scrolls. It gets a 7 out of 10. Number 6, Chrono Trigger. Chrono
Trigger is a game where you're chronologically, you're a man who does chronos graphs. No. 10 out of 10. Final Fantasy VI.
In this Final Fantasy, the circus comes to town, and the fun clowns are having a circus war with the circus strongman, and you have to decide whether or not the clown's going to win. Gets a clown out of 10. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time sequel to Legend of Zelda: Accordion of Time. You play an ocarina. It's one of them flutes, but it kind of is made out of old bread or something. I don't know. I've never seen an ocarina, so 1 out of 10. Mass Effect Triple.
Mass has an effect on things like volume, not density, velocities, all kinds of stuff. And in this Mass Effect game, you're going to learn all about the physics of mass. It's a 9 out of 10. Final Fantasy VIII.
Final Fantasy VIII, you play as Lion Squallheart, and you're just effing stuff up all over the place. You're a thug, party goer, every day you're shuffling, dude. 8 out of 10. Halo 2.
Halo 2 is the game where you learn multicultural ways of greeting people. You say, hola, ni hao, bonjour. Gets a 9 out of 10.
We did
it again, guys.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, way to keep me hanging on that one.
What's up? Right. It's time for 1, 2, 3 speed reviews.
Doesn't feel good, does it?
Let's do it together. Come on.
All right.
We're sons. Sons chant. We're sons.
3, 2, 1. Speed reviews. Tom, this is the top 10 RPGs that don't take themselves seriously. Man, we are scraping the barrel for these lists.
They're all in Game FAQs. Look them up, guys.
Thousand's Arms.
Thousand's Arms is a game where you play as a new type of being who has 1,000 arms. Let me tell you where the arms come out of. It's going to take only a few hours. You got...
Let's just fast forward to this part.
It's 10 out of 10. Mother 3 for the GBA.
Well, the thing about this game is you got to tell your children not to walk my way. You got to tell your children not to hear my words. It's a 9 out of 10. Super Mario RPG 11 to 7 stars.
This is a game you play as Super Mario. He's a man on a mission. He likes princesses and stuff. He's going to find the princess of his dreams, and then he's going to find a cloud man. So you get a 1 out of 10. Shadow Madness.
Shadow of the Madness is a game where you play as a young boy who has to hunt down the shadows in order to save his shadow friend from the shadows. It gets a shadow out of 10. Obuna.
Obuna is Italian for pasta. What they do is it's a pasta making simulator where you make pasta. I didn't see much use of it, but I think it's for ladies who want to know how to make pasta. So you get a 5 out of 10. Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door.
In this game, you actually got just a bunch of paper cutouts, like paper dolls, Mario, and all his cartoon pals. And you and your little sister played Tea Party with Mario, and you had to go through 1,000 years, and it felt like 1,000 years, because tea parties aren't very fun. Gets 1,000 years out of 10. Half Minute Hero for PSP.
Half Minute Hero is my nickname in high school. 10 out of 10. Okage, Shadow King.
In this game, you are Okage, the Shadow King. Sounds pretty fun. 9 out of 10. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga.
In this game, you're Mario & Luigi Superstar. It was made by Andrew Lloyd Webber. You're just doing all the musicals, man, and it's a play, but you're also Mario & Luigi. So it's like you're playing a game in a play. And there's songs.
Neat.
7 out of 10. Earthbound.
In this game, you're playing as a giant Paleolithic asteroid, and it's your job to get to Earth so you can kill all the dinosaurs before they invade the moon. Gets a 7 out of 10.
We did it!
Speed reviews. Tom, this is the top 10 games with fewer than 20 copies in existence.
Another Game FAQs classic.
Another classic. Here we go. Number 10, Atlantis 2.
Atlantis 2 is a game where the rest of the world becomes like Atlantis and it all goes underwater, and so the entire game you try not to drown. It's really hard though. 2600 out of 10. Kazuna Encounter PAL Edition.
In Kazoo Encounter, you are the world's most foremost virtuoso on the kazoo, and you have to play all the songs from Stars and Stripes Forever to the Christmas songs that everyone is going to enjoy. Gets a 9 out of 10. Air Raid.
Air Raid is a game where, ironically, you play as dolphins. 10 out of 10. Tetris.
Gets a 9 out of 10. Rockman 4 Gold Edition.
Rockman 4 Gold Edition is like Rockman 4 Silver Edition, but you can only get certain Pokemon in this one. I mean robots. 10 out of 10. Bangai-O Prize Edition.
In this game, you're a contestant on a popular Japanese game show called Bangai-O Prize. And you have to figure out the right way to get the Bangai-O Prize, or else you're going to get your hands cut off. Gets a 2 out of 10. Red Sea Crossing.
Red Sea Crossing is my favorite biblical game, where you play a Bible man, and you go to all them rivers in the Bible that you hear about in your favorite storybook, the Bible. But also it's a religion or something, so 10 out of 10. Blockbuster World Video Game Championship 2.
In this game, you have to be the world's #1 blockbuster. They're going to give you cinder blocks. They're going to give you bricks. They're going to give you other Lego blocks. You got to learn how to bust every single one of them to become the champion #2. Gets a 2 out of 10. Gamma Attack.
Grandma Attack is a game about your grandma. She's fighting all these people off. She gets different weapons. She gets a broomstick, a rolling pin, a frying pan, your grandpa's fists. She gets all sorts of weapons and she fights people in the neighborhood for money. And drugs, I guess. 1 out of 10. Campus Challenge 91.
In Campus Challenge 91, you have to figure out a cure for the terrible disease known as campus. It is ravaging the campuses, and it's up to you to stop the terrible contagion from infecting all of America. Gets a 7 out of 10. That's it, guys. We did it once again. Most violent games.
Contains
brought
spoilers.
to you by Game Facts.
Yeah, guys, we always just steal lists from him. Okay.
Number 10, Fallout Trace.
Fallout 3 is a game where you're falling down and you're playing Fallout Boy and you're playing with your Mr. Burns and stuff. 1 out of 10. Heavy Rain.
In this game, you have to avoid the heavy raindrops from coming down and crushing you, and your limbs fly all over the place, and it's really messy. You get 7 out of 10. The Soldier of Fortune.
Soldier of Fortune is a game where you find fortune cookies and then you hunt them down and kill them. Also, you are a fortune cookie. 10 out of 10. Dead Rising.
In this game, you're Jesus and you come back to life, and it was really gory because you were crucified, but you're going to forgive all the Romans. It's a 7 out of 10. Mortal Kombat series entirely.
Mortal Kombat is a game where you're a man, well, you're definitely a man, and you definitely can be killed. You're not immortal, and there is fighting. That much I've learned from the title, so it's probably great. 10 out of 10. God of War Trilogy.
In this game, you're Kratos, the man of Sparta. He enjoys finger painting with his enemy's blood. 6 out of 10. Grand Theft Auto series.
Grand Theft Auto is a game where you steal cars and you drive real fast and you just go and do fun, sweet spin-outs and stuff. I don't think it's that gory. I've never gotten out of a car, though. So 7 out of 10. Gears of War.
Gears of War, you gotta make sure not to put your hand in where the Gears of War turn. Otherwise, you're gonna get your hands caught in the cogs and you're gonna get a splinter. Gets 2 out of 10. Manhunt series.
Manhunt is a game, what I'm looking at the box art right now. It looks like you drive the Wienermobile or something. Okay, okay, that's not the real box. Okay, 10 out of 10. Postal 2.
In Postal 2, it is, of course, the tie-in to the Kevin Costner movie, The Postman, where he plays a Pony Express postman, and you have to ride across the wastes as Kevin Costner's pony. Gets a pony out of 10. And that's it, guys.
We did it!
We're going to go play Borderlands.
Speed reviews is what we should do.
Tom, this is a top 10 video games that have angered politicians. Really scraping the barrel on these.
Yeah,
all right.
I like these.
Number 10, The Sims for PC, for sexuality and nudity.
We're going to say what it is?
I think so, yeah.
Guys, The Sims is a game where you're making the simoleon, the popular currency in the Sims game. It gets a 10 out of 10. Tetris for political unrest.
Tetris, in this game, you have Tetrises. You have 4 Tetrises, and each Tetris, you have to put the Tetris on top of the other Tetris to remove all the other Tetrises. It's a 4 out of 10. Tomb Raider for sexuality and violence.
Tomb Raider is the sexiest game I've ever imagined. You go into tombs and you meet sexy, fresh corpses and you just do the dance.
More like Womb Raider, am I right?
Yeah. I guess 6 out of 10. Narc for violence.
Man, I'm not going to give up this review. I ain't no narc. 9 out of 10. Night Trap for violence and sexuality.
Night Trap is what they used to call me in high school. 10 out of 10. Death Race.
Death Race. Death Race is how I actually got my co-hosting position on this podcast. I actually participated in a horrible murder race to the finish, cross country, and I had to leave several people in the dust of the graves.
I just applied.
9 out of 10. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is a game where you're an earthquake man. You gotta crack it up. All along that fault. It's not your fault, though. This is what you do. 10 out of 10. Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. In this game, you realize just how mortal you are by going into combat against additional mortals. 4 out of 10. Custer's Revenge. For
Custard's
sexuality
Revenge,
minus.
you make your own ice cream sandwich, and you gotta tell everyone that your custard is the best. All you do is make ice cream, but sometimes you gotta fight off other ice cream places with your Indian girlfriend. 10 out of 10. Doom.
Doom. In this game, you are the Doom Master. Master of the Dooms. Gets a 1 out of 10. Anyway, guys, that's it.
We did it, guys.
We'll see you next time.
Wait, do we do anything else in the show? Or is that it?
I think it's we end it, right?
I think so, too.
Cut it off right now.
I think so.
Yeah,
No, we're forgetting something.
What could it be?
I think it's Speed
reviews. Guys, this is top 10 best free roaming games of all freaking Timony time.
We're gonna have the guest of honor do all the names.
Yeah, he's gonna name it out.
Here it goes. Number 10, Destroy All Humans.
In this game, you have to destroy all humans because the humans are jerks and they ran over your flower garden and you gotta destroy them all. It gets a 9 out of 10.
Number 9, Just Cause 2.
Just Cause 2 is a game where you're Ronald Reagan and you're fighting off all these people in Puerto Rico because screw them. Coming
8,
back to America. 10 out of 10.
Bully Scholarship Edition.
In this game, you have been accepted to a prestigious academy for bullying on a bullying scholarship, and you have to maintain high bullying marks or else you're going to get kicked out of school. It's a 7 out of 10.
Grand Theft Auto 4.
Grand Theft Auto 4, I think we already reviewed, but it's a game where you're the fourth Grand Theft Auto and you're getting super arrested this time. Those police are going to get you. 10 out of 10.
Our favorite game, Assassin's Creed 2.
We just talked about this. It's okay. Like 8 out of 10.
Okay?
Crackdown.
Crackdown is a game where you do tons of crack. But then you also make pillows.
See, I would have said that you have a really hot crash. You take crack and then you have a real crack down afterwards.
Yeah. We all tried our best. Anyway,
okay.
It gets a 1 out of 10. That game was bad.
Number 4, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
It's a lot like Grand Theft Auto 4, except this time you're offering the cars that you steal to St. Andrew, one of Jesus' apostles. Gets a 777 out of 10.
Number 3, Fallout 3.
Fallout 3 is a game, you're following Fallout Boy in the latest tour, and then they're hit by a nuclear bomb. So it gets a 12 out of 10. Great game.
Number 2, Red Dead Redemption.
No jokes here. 10 out of 10.
Number 1, Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Oblivion is a game, I played it. Kind of you're like a knight or something.
It's really big.
You're big, you're bold, you're fighting them off.
And you're oblivious.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
All right, guys.
We
Thanks
did
a
it!
lot for sticking around. Thanks for our special guest, Baz.
Well,
He'll probably be around at some point. Who knows?
see you later.
Bye, guys.
Farewell.